In the days before the great flood, when the earth was young and the line between the divine and the mortal was still blurred, strange beings walked among men. They were giants, warriors of renown, feared and worshipped, yet cursed by God himself. The Bible calls them the Nephilim. But who were they? Where did they come from? And why did their existence provoke the wrath of heaven? The book of Genesis chapter 6 takes us to a world unlike our own, an earth still fresh from creation, yet already stained by human sin. Civilization had begun to grow. Cities rose, people multiplied, and the line between good and evil blurred. But in this world, something extraordinary and terrifying occurred, when human beings began to increase in number on the earth, and daughters were born to them. The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took for themselves wives of all they chose. Genesis says, menos dois. The phrase sons of God has puzzled theologians for centuries. Some say they were fallen angels, heavenly beings who abandoned their place in God's order to take human women. Others believe they were rulers or descendants of Seth, the righteous line, who intermarried with the wicked line of Cain. But the most ancient Jewish traditions, like the book of Enoch, point to something supernatural, that these were indeed angels who fell from their heavenly status, seeking earthly pleasures. From these forbidden unions, the Bible tells us, came the Nephilim. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. Genesis 6:2-4. The word Nephilim can mean fallen ones, or giants. Ancient texts describe them as towering beings, some said to be over 10 to 15 feet tall, possessing supernatural strength and unmatched skills in war. They became kings, tyrants, and false gods to the nations. Imagine them, colossal warriors with weapons larger than a man, their footsteps shaking the ground. Their power was intoxicating to humans, but detestable to God. The Nephilim were not just physical giants, they represented a spiritual corruption. Their presence spread violence across the earth. Humanity, influenced by their arrogance and lawlessness, turned away from God. The book of Enoch even describes how the fallen angels taught mankind forbidden knowledge, the art of war, sorcery, astrology, and the crafting of deadly weapons. Soon the earth was so filled with wickedness that God's heart was grieved. Genesis 6:5 says, "The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time." God made a decision that would change history forever. He would cleanse the earth. "I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, for I regret that I have made them." Genesis 6:7. But one man found favor in his eyes, Noah. God instructed Noah to build the ark, to preserve life before the coming flood. The Nephilim, with their angelic fathers and mortal mothers, would not survive the waters of judgment. Their hybrid nature was an abomination. The destruction of the flood was, in part, to purge the earth of their corruption. Yet, strangely, the Bible hints at their return. Numbers 13:33, during the time of Moses, records the spies in Canaan saying, "We saw the Nephilim there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." These post-flood giants, like the Anakim Rephaim and Goliath of Gath, may have been descendants of the original Nephilim bloodline, preserved through the flood in some mysterious way, possibly through the wives of Noah's sons. The Nephilim remain a mystery because the Bible gives only fragments, yet their story is a warning. They represent rebellion against God's created order. They show how evil spreads when divine boundaries are crossed, and they remind us that physical might and worldly glory mean nothing before God's judgment. Some scholars see them as a shadowy parallel to the spiritual battle we face, unseen powers trying to corrupt humanity even today. Interestingly, Jesus himself said in Matthew 24:37, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man." This hints that the same kind of spiritual corruption, deception, and lawlessness that marked the days of the Nephilim will return before his second coming. Some believe this could mean a rise in supernatural deception, even a revival of the same dark powers that spawned the giants. The Nephilim's footsteps have long faded into the dust of history, but their shadow still lingers. They remind us that the greatest battles are not just fought with swords and spears, but in the heart, where the war between obedience and rebellion rages. And in the end, no matter how mighty the giant, God always prevails. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful Bible stories that bring ancient truth to life today. May your faith be strengthened. God bless you.